Alrighty, and we're back. So, we need to try and finish up this civil war down here in Spain and begin making our preparations for the annexation of Austria. Alright, so let's go ahead and get army innovations. It'll give us some bonuses to our land doctrine research speed, which is always very much appreciated. We just got another research slot. Yeah, I haven't played this game as much ever since Man the Guns came out last year, but I still have no idea how this whatchamacallit, how to build ships, because you can I do enjoy that they made the Navy stuff a lot more intricate, where you can add different modules to ships and stuff. It's a lot more realistic that way, but I literally have no clue about what's going on. Oh, we got our first operative. Let's see here. Emma. She's pretty good. I'll take her. Let's get some more men recruited so that we can have enough to annex Austria. Uh oh. Yeah, the Spanish Civil War gets pretty nuts now, because you have upwards of, like, I think 5 factions that can spawn. So you have the nationalists and the communists, as always. Now you have the anarchists, which spawn over here in Catalonia. And then sometimes there's the Carlists, who are the monarchists. They'll rise up in this area every now and then. Depends on what happens. But yeah. Let's actually move up here and come down this river right this way. I have about 60 more planes, so let's get some more. Right here. Let's get these guys exercising. Yeah, ever since Man the Guns, also, you have fuel that you have to worry about. Like in the original Hearts of Iron, like you didn't, or the original patch, or with the Hearts of Iron, like you didn't have to worry about it. You just had, all you needed oil for was to actually produce stuff. But once the stuff is produced, it just didn't need any more, oil, which was always kind of weird, but it made things a lot more simple. But now, like, every time you move something that requires oil, like, it costs you up here. Like, you move a tank, like a couple of around the map, like it's costing you fuel, and you will run out, and you will not be able to fly your planes, have your navy out, have your tanks or trucks moving. So it's a big deal for sure, and you have to be aware of it. Trying to challenge us in the air, which shouldn't work out for them. We should be able to handle that. It's actually, let's move our guys over here to Northwest Iberia. Alright, build some more. I think we're going to build civilian factories until 1938. And that might be a terrible idea If it is, please don't roast me in the comments because I'm not an expert. I'm just doing what I think makes the most sense, even if it might not be the most optimum way to do it. Okay. Let's get this treaty with USSR. That's good because it'll basically give us some bonus research time on our medium tanks, which is very nice. We can go ahead and get those building, so we can hopefully have medium tanks by the time the war starts. Oh, Hindenburg just blew up. That's unfortunate. Almost to Madrid. Yeah, I've learned a bit about the Spanish Civil War too. The Madrid was the last city to be taken. Or no, it wasn't actually. Well, yeah, Barcelona and Madrid were the last two to be taken. I want to say Barcelona fell a little before Madrid. Yeah. It's really interesting about the Spanish Civil War is that the Germans and the Soviets, like the Germans sent help, and the Italians, but mainly the Germans, they sent help to the nationalists, and the communists sent support to the Republicans. And like they learned a lot from the Civil War. Like they learned the best way to some new tactics that they could use and stuff, and they learned like it really affected how they their doctrine and like how they were going to fight during the war itself. And we're about to send another tank division to Spain. And let's go ahead and take Madrid itself. Oh, wait. So we're going to want to bring you over. Okay, there, perfect. 260 out of 260. Alright. Did Japan just invade? Are they invading? No, they're probably about to. Yeah, so basically, all of China is united against Japan. Except these two guys, but they might join later. Alright. I haven't really messed around too much with anarchist Spain, because they basically, like, you go in here, they have like yeah, their armies suck, like their divisions themselves suck, but they are able to field a hell of a lot of divisions, because it's kind of like the idea that all the men and women are fighting, it's not just the men, so they have a lot of divisions, and that makes up for their lack of quality. Let's go ahead and get our new tank division in here. The nice thing about this too is these guys are already veterans, so they get a 75% bonus in combat. that. Yep, there's the war. I'm actually going to see if they will let me send an attaché. They will not accept. China? They will not accept. Damn. Yeah, attachés are good because um, you can see what's going on in the war. Like you can see the divisions of the country that you sent the attaché to, and it gives you army experience because your guys are there, I guess, kind of studying what's going on in the war and learning from it. And so hopefully Japan does well in this war because we want them to take over all of China so that they can put a lot of pressure on Southeast Asia, which is where Britain, France, and America get a lot of their rubber from. And rubber is obviously important in making airplanes. So the more Japan can harass them in that endeavor, the better. Also, we have enough. So in, let's see, 58 days we'll be able to annex Austria. We'll make all the French garrison. I'll hold this border over here. I don't know why it's taking so long to win these battles. Usually it doesn't, especially early on when you have tanks and they don't, or any anti-tank guns. So we get this armor bonus since we're using armor. Let's attack these guys from both sides. Very nice. Let's clear up this bucket. That's why I start working on our air doctrine. So that's a huge reason that Germany was able to do so well early in the war. Like a lot of people, like yes, the Panzers were obviously very important, but the Luftwaffe gave the Germans just an immeasurable level amount of advantage compared to France and Britain early on in the war. But then they basically floundered that whenever they sacrificed hundreds, if probably over 1,000 planes in the Battle of Britain. Luftwaffe was basically gassed after that, and they never really recovered after the Battle of Britain. Definitely the biggest blunder that the Germans, one of the biggest blunders, obviously invading Russia is not the best idea, but the Battle of Britain was just a terrible idea because they didn't really have a tactical end goal, if that makes sense. Like they weren't. You want to have a goal in mind whenever you launch a military attack, and they didn't. Originally they were going to destroy the airfields and then try to do a landing, but then they were like, well, we don't really have the Navy to do a landing, because the Royal Navy is obviously very strong, so let's not do that. Let's just focus on civilian targets, and it's just they never committed, I guess. And that spread the forces out. When they had more planes than Britain did, but they spread them out, and Britain concentrated their planes, and they would often have more planes at the point of contact than Germany did, which obviously gave them a enormous advantage. Okay. Almost done with the Republicans. Valencia's taken. What's your new capital? Alright, so just did the Anschluss, and yeah, we just annexed Austria, which is very nice. They had some military factories and some civilian factories and stuff, so we basically just gobbled them up, which is very, very nice. Yeah, I've read a book about the Anschluss, and it's very like they said that it was a democratic election, but it was looking at it, it's kind of sketchy. Like there's evidence that well, it was obviously highly influenced by the Nazis, but there's conflicting evidence on just how much the Nazis influenced it because it was like a 98% of people apparently voted to join Germany, and a lot of people think that if it was an actual election, an actual referendum, that it wouldn't have been that high. Because even before the war, the Nazis were not very well liked by anybody really. Oh yeah, it's got downloaded. I researched the cipher, so I think we're gonna start trying to decrypt France's cipher. We'll go ahead and try to upgrade our cipher so it'll go faster. Okay, so the anarchists actually got taken out first. Okay. Just show up in military. Yeah, let's do it. Switching to military. Time to start pumping out these factories. Yeah, we'll go military factories probably up till 1939, and then we'll probably build some synthetic refineries. Okay, so this war is over, good. So that'll give us some more oil for ourselves that we won't have to trade for, which will be nice. Speaking of, let's stop trading with Venezuela so that we're not wasting. Yeah, I'm not gonna give Yugoslavia anything. Sorry. Okay. Next target is Czechoslovakia, which we're gonna need, I think, 750,000 people. Oh, we can actually do it already. Nice. Yeah, 725,000. Gotcha. Yep, we're gonna jump up to war economy, which gives us a lot more factories actually building stuff, which is very beneficial. So yeah, I guess us getting that decryption radio intercept group basically cut our decryption time in half, which is obviously amazing. Let's go ahead and get our battle lines for Poland drawn up. So the longer you have your plans in order, the bigger bonus your guys get because it's kind of like they're studying the terrain and stuff. And they know what to expect and what they're going up against, which is a pretty cool concept. I like it. Makes sense. How's Japan doing? Not very well. That sucks. Like I said, we want them to do very well to help us make our job easier. synthetic rubbery. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. Like I said in the first part, like there's sometimes you don't want to do certain things because it will raise the world tension, which will allow like Great Britain and America to do certain things that makes them more powerful. Like see, the US doesn't have the Great Depression anymore, they have slow recovery instead. Can I rename her? Doesn't look like it. Maybe when I'm recruiting them I can change their names. Alright. It's definitely when I get this anti-partisan. So we're gonna have a lot of territory hopefully here in a few years, and we have a lot of unhappy people that we're gonna have to try to keep from from firebombing our factories and stuff. So there's that. Let's see. Yeah, once you annex Austria, you get a lot of these weird templates. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. Actually, I'm gonna remove those two for reasons I will explain later. Okay, that'll make it. Ah, fuck! I just fucked myself. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That was stupid. That was so stupid. You idiot, Lucas. You utter idiot. I played myself. I straight up freaking played myself. Well, I guess we're gonna be doing that later. Damn, that sucks. I'll shine because I like to. I think the best way to make your infantry divisions, at least what I've read, is to take these two out and make these artillery. It gives you a lot more attack on your divisions. I was gonna go ahead and make some room for those artillery, but wasn't thinking about the manpower I was supposed to have in the field. So that's my bad. Grenades and nails almost done. That's good. Let's see, what do we want here? Any more support companies? We'll get signal companies. That'll be good for our motorized and our tanks because they'll be able to communicate more effectively and do better with all that jazz. I actually want to make a variant of our BF-109. Let's give it the max engine, or maybe not the max engine. We'll give it 3 engines, range. And yeah, there we go. BF-109A. So we'll get it building. There we go. Yeah, so once this this bar right here is basically like the not that one, this one right here. It's kind of like the efficiency. So like once something's been being built for a while, it's kind of like the factories, I guess, figure out more efficient ways to build said thing, and you'll be able to build more faster. So once the efficiency gets up, we'll delete the old BF-109, the original. That's another thing the Germans did in the war. They had a lot of especially their well, I guess everything really, their planes and their tanks. They would have a lot of different versions of each. So the uh, like the BF-109, like that plane that I just made a different thing for. Like there was like it went all the way up to like a G or an H. Like you'd have like the BF-109H. Like obviously each letter denotes a um, different version. So it's a lot of different versions, and especially with the tanks, like you'd have like the Panzer IV J, like 11 or 12 different versions of the same tank. It's kind of crazy, honestly. Alright, we just got Mimel back. Yeah, Mimel. I don't know why I can't say that. It used to be a part of the German Empire, and before that, Prussia and Lithuania. Got that after the World War One. So I just basically went, hey, give that back, and they did, because they obviously don't have the military might sent up to us. Yeah, I wonder, like, it's interesting, Hitler's supposed motivations for going to war, or why he did a lot of things that he did before the war as well. It's like that he wanted to unite all Germans under one country. Um, it's kind of like an interesting excuse to go to war. I mean, I can't really think of any other examples in history off the top of my head where that's the case. Like, I don't know. He wanted to obviously have the Austrians join him. He wanted the Sudetenland, which had a lot of ethnic Germans. Slovenia had a lot of ethnic Germans. Danzig, Poznan, like all those different areas. Alrighty, we have demanded this Sudetenland, and Germany has given it to us. It's kind of like one of the biggest travesties of the pre-war period is that like the German generals were absolutely terrified of the prospect of taking over Czechoslovakia, because if I zoom in right here, you can see all these forts. Like if they couldn't hold the Germans off indefinitely, they would have definitely given the Germans a bloody nose. So they basically had like a mini Maginot Line all the way around their entire country. Then Britain and France basically gave Germany the Sudetenland, so Germans didn't even have to worry about it. They just walked by it. Alright, that's the fate of Czechoslovakia. Let's see. Let's give Slovakia to Hungary, like I was saying in an earlier part, so that they will, yeah, they'll be part of the Axis. That's good. So, I think that's a good place to end this part. Off screen, I will go ahead and do the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which is basically where it's gonna be an agreement between us and the Soviet Union that we're gonna split up Poland. So like, I'll get this bit of Poland, and they will get this bit, and it also will give us a non-aggression pact for 2 years. So like, it basically gives us 2 years to beat up on the West before we have to turn back east. So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you watching, and I will hopefully see you all in the next one. See ya.